lower, it's hard to get. Well, they took away the permanent chain slows. They made it a little more intermittent.
Yeah, and for our teams, I'll do a quick introduction. We're almost into game. We're going to have Gladiator Draven being played by Riot Athic, Riot Baconhawk on Forecast Janna, Riot Zephyral on Earthrune Skarner, Riot Morgageddon playing Scorched Earth Xerath, Riot Bach on Demon Blade Trendemir.
And for community, we have, forgive me if I butchered these names, Guadabalin on Santa Gragas, Do It for Lucky on Championship Thresh, Demise Helix on Surprise Party Fiddlesticks, Rauron on Severe, and Calderwise on Glacial Malphite. Unusually, and unfortunately, this is not very common, but most of community actually has skins on their champions.
Yeah, they're rocking all the skins. Surprise Party Fiddlesticks, one of my favorites. Forecast Janna is hilarious because of everything she says and does. And back to Skarner, I think I saw a Reddit thread that said the most underwhelming champion remake that they've seen to date. And I mean, that's one person's personal opinion, but it really wasn't. It wasn't a huge rework. I mean, they pretty much moved stuff around in his kit. They didn't actually change his kit, and that's the big difference between this rework and other reworks, where other reworks they actually make a much larger changes in abilities in general. Where this, they just kind of moved around his slow and tweaked some of the speeds, so it wasn't as intense as some of the other reworks, in my opinion.
The way you're describing that, it makes me think of the rework they did to Zipper back when they made her visual update. They kind of tweaked around the way the spell shield works, and they definitely changed her W ricochet. Now it's like 3 different ricochets instead of 1.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Let me turn the music back on. The League music, so we have some background fun noise here.
Yeah.
And Guadabalin is disconnected right here off the bat.
And they are allowed to pause, so, and since there's no action actually going on right now, I'm sure they're at least a little bit patient with it. But if it gets into the actual laning phase beginning, then they are allowed to pause. I don't know if we have a timer, like a maximum pause timer on that, like 5 minutes or something. But
yeah. We have Bacon Hawk just hanging out. I mean, it's just just the stuff she says is just hilarious. I'm actually glad that they did this because we were talking about it in Champ Select, but what a great skin, just has so much extra stuff to it, and it really cracks me up. Really cracks me up. A very epic skin that they created there.
It's definitely one of the better done skins, and I'm surprised. I'm almost surprised they didn't make an ultimate skin almost, just because of how well it works with her.
Yeah, that was when they just started doing the new tiers of skins. So Guadabalin has reconnected. They're just getting to lane right now, so he probably won't be too far behind. He's going to lose a little bit of XP, definitely, but Morgageddon's giving a decent leash because Trendemir wanted to go right to lane. He's all about the farm, so he didn't want to miss one CS because he is playing versus Malphite, and Malphite does fairly well versus Trendemir, depending on how aggressive they get early on and how well they play in lane, of course, but not one of those champions to get bullied by Trendemir. But if Trendemir gets ahead, it can be a really, really rough lane.
Yeah, not getting bullied by Trendemir is definitely something you want to have an advantage of in this lane. I was actually about to ask about that because we spent Champions Lane. We talked about the wave clear in mid lane. That's going to be going back and forth. We didn't really mention the bot lane a whole lot. I kind of touched on like the Janet Draven combo. Eye of the Storm puts a ton of extra damage on top of the already damaging spinning axes for Draven. On the other side, you have a couple of skill shots that can go toward a very predictive landing spot for axes. You have Boomerang Blade, the Flay, and the hook shot, as we've come to call it, from Thresh. But it's just really going to rely on how good Aphic is with his positioning and, more importantly, leading the axes, which is really what defines a good Draven player from a great Draven player.
Yeah, definitely. Catching axes is important, but if you can put the axes where you want them, that's definitely what you want to do. And there's an engagement down bottom. They're trading back and forth, but they're going to go pretty even right here. Thresh taking a little more damage than Janna, but A pretty good trade. I missed to see if a hook land. It was a hook that landed, but we actually see an early gank coming out of Fiddlesticks in the mid lane, and Skarner's coming down bottom. Fiddle's not in the right position, but Skarner's going to get into this unwarded bush down bottom here. They ping a ward in the other bush, but they probably called Zephyr off as Fiddle decides to go up top.
Yeah, and, yeah, I was letting you talk.
Here it is. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a gank coming in here. They don't have vision in the brush right now. Trendemir might try something sneaky and go back the other way. Will he go for the fight? No, he's going to blow the flash, get out of there alive. A good gank coming out of that pre-level 6 Fiddlesticks. I mean, if you can grab a flash in lane pre-level 6, you're doing a great job. And Bach might have been able to actually turn on Malphite with the Ignite and kill him, because Malphite doesn't have an Ignite to counter that right there. Mid lane, Riot Morgan's taking a lot of damage. The Ignite's already down, and a flash belly bump for first blood. Guatabalin, even though came to lane late, able to pick up the first blood.
And that's the one difference we were mentioning before. They both wave clear great, but it is Gragas with that mobility. He can catch up with Xerath, who was running actually away from his tower right there, which is a bit surprising. I missed most of the engagement. Top lane, by the way, we're starting to get to the point where Calder-Wise is starting to run low on mana, and he was actually pretty low during that Fiddlesticks gank, but now we're seeing Skarner trying to make us way up here, and we'll see how this engage turns out.
Yeah. Skarner's coming in, the Ignite is down, the damage is there, Flash is out, but it's not going to be... Oh, it is enough! He gets away with just barely enough HP. A good flash right there. Skarner actually landed the Fracture, but it wasn't quite enough damage to capitalize on that one.
It was right at the tip of that skill shot that landed. If the flash was actually up from Trendemir, that would have been an easy kill, because the flash was blown from Calder-Wise as well, and that was the difference maker, that Fiddlesticks gank from earlier.
Oh, there's a hook on the Janna in the bot lane. Where is the Flay? There it is, and actually a great Lantern. Dark Passage being taken by Fiddlesticks. He's going to get the Fear in there, a red buff applied, and they're going to drop the Exhaust for a flash out of Draven. So Riot Afflict getting out of there. And look at Do It for Lucky being very aggressive with a blind hook over the wall right there, but forcing Draven to go all the way back and not stay in lane. He does not want to give an early kill. Nope, they definitely... they're kind of trying to decide whether they want to stay or go, and Affik wants to grab this farm and not let the tower take it out, so he's going to secure that experience and the gold.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't mention earlier was that Affik chose Cleanse, and I'm fairly sure it's just because of the Fiddlesticks in this game, and he was actually forced to blow it there on the Terrify from Helix.
The rank 1 Terrify is actually better than it used to be, but it doesn't scale as hard. So it gets an actual quarter second at level 1 when they changed it, but it doesn't scale up to 3 seconds like it used to.
Yeah. Also, that means he is without barrier, and it means he's putting a lot of faith in Baconhawk's shields, and if that last little poke war between Baconhawk and
another gank coming up top. Zephyros trying to get across through the minions, but unable to do so. He got the move speed boost, but the minions took it away right away, and Bach taking a bunch of damage right there. I'm surprised that Malphite didn't go for the Unstoppable Force. He probably could have grabbed a kill on a Bach who's so low right now. There's the Unstoppable Force, and he grabs the kill. He just barely had enough mana, and Trendemir did not level up quite when he was hoping to.
Yeah, that's what he was waiting for. He was just really low on mana again, because Trendemir, again, is resourceless. He has the Rage Bar just to use for his own heals, but wasn't quite enough there. Also, what's worth mentioning is Calder-Wise doesn't have an Ignite. So if he tries to go in just to do damage on Trendemir like that, he's not going to have that offensive summoner to add to that damage. Morgan actually taking quite a lot of poke here mid lane, and
ooh, he lands the bottom slam. There is the explosive cast, knocking him back. Morgan just running away from this one, trying to juke in the bush, lands a barrel. There's the ignite, and that is good night for Xerath, taking down the what was he called, the fire mage with fire. So fight fire with fire, and you'll win the mid lane, especially if you got presence.
Or if you're like some League players use the acronym for his skin, which I'm not going to say out loud. Anyway, community is actually doing a pretty good job overall here. They're definitely looking to take back the, I guess, vengeance win over the last 2 or 3 weeks. They haven't taken a single win out of Rioters, but already making a way that way tonight.
Yeah, I expect to see when the blue buff gets taken here for the community side that they go right for an early dragon. I mean, around 10 minutes is the best time to take it, and when you have a Fiddlesticks, you don't have to worry about the dragon doing a lot of damage. More trading going on in the top lane here. And we'll look at the CS totals, pretty even across the board. Draven has a good lead on Sivir right now, and Skarner has a good lead on Fiddlesticks, but I think that was some lane farm that he was able to soak up.
Yeah, it was definitely Zephyr going to help Riot balk in that top lane with that giant wave. Also, what's worth mentioning is Riot's team is actually built around skirmishes, but so far the skirmishes have all gone community side. And that's, I guess it's worth saying this because it's Riot's entire plan to win the little fights, and so far if they're losing those, they're losing their early advantage.
And there is a whiffed ultimate from Helix, not able to grab Morgageddon right there. So first ult from Fiddle, going to Fizzle right there, and I go down to bot lane. It's a full engagement. Rubberon taking a lot of damage right here. Affik not getting slowed by the second part of the box, forcing a flash out of Rubberon. He's so low right now. There's the last axe going to grab him. Skarner using the impale onto Thresh. A great hook though from Thresh, but Zephyriel steps in, takes the tower aggro, and that's going to be a double kill. And it's still going to be a 2-for-1 trade though. They did kill the double buff Skarner, as Fiddle's just a little too late to the party.
But the buffs go absolutely nowhere, and that's over 600 gold of passive gold from that Draven, the League of Draven as it's called. And that's gonna really swing this bot lane back towards Riot's favor here. Now the one kill did go on the support, which, of course, Season 4, support kills actually count for something now, but when Rauren is this behind on creep score against a Draven, they really need to get Severe back in this game before the teamfight phase starts.
Yeah, they might be able to counter and go grab a dragon. If they can get bot lane to go back, or even before they do, they can probably counter with a dragon right now if they want to. There's a stun onto Guadabalin, taking a good amount of damage up here in the mid lane and charging up those long-range pokes, but Fiddle is here. He's going to get a good drain and some decent damage. Morgageddon actually not tethering the fear. Needs to be very careful because that was a lot of damage he just soaked up right there.
I think he was trying to play just the edge of it, but Affik is getting caught in this bot lane now.
Yeah, Affik caught in the bot lane. I clicked on the wrong people. I'm not good with this camera right now. Every time I see an AD carry, I want to click 5, and he's 1. So top and bottom are switched. They put some pressure onto top lane. Draven actually survived that one, and Fiddlesticks sitting in the brush, but they have a ping down on him because it is warded, so Zephyr's going to hang out until he leaves that lane, but that's going to send Malphite back. And everybody kind of just going back to their farm status. No dragon. I was really expecting the early dragon to come out there.
Yeah, I suppose if Helix was actually near that bot lane when they forced Draven back, it would have been an easy dragon, but he was near top lane. Speaking of top lane...
Yeah, speaking of top lane, they're going to jump back in onto Malphite. There's the Impale. Very aggressive right here because Malphite wasn't even low. He's actually in an unstoppable force. He's going to get the ultimate out of Riot Bach, but can he get out of this one alive? Yes, he can. He basically just traded ult for 2 ults right there, so he, community comes out on the better side of that engagement right there.
Yeah, that was a surprising amount of damage out of Malphite. I haven't even mentioned his item choices, but he's actually going directly for what he's already had a weakness for in this laning phase, which is his mana against a Tryndamere. He's rushing to Frozen Heart, gets him a lot of armor, a lot of mana, not much health, but a flash body slam in the mid lane.
Yeah, flash body slam in the mid lane, and that is going to be a kill. Picked up with the ignite and the extra damage. Didn't even need the last body slam. Just kind of flew by him right there. Oh. And that's a ping coming down from Morgageddon, who needs to get his butt out of there. He's going to try to clear this lane, but it's a very dangerous place to be because as soon as that minion's gone, Guadabalin going to take a couple tower hits and make sure that the Morgageddon retreats in that lane. So they're actually still commanding the lead, but they're down in gold, and that's just straight up Draven passive and farm advantage. I mean, the bottom lane, they're just commanding all of that extra gold in the bottom right now.
And I have a feeling that's kind of why there hasn't been a dragon really attempted yet. For the mid lane, it's community, but for bot lane, it's Riot. And just depending on which way the skirmishes go, it's kind of saying neither team really wants to go just for a dragon. Say, like, if bot lane if they can kill Severe and Thresh and then go for Dragon, they're at risk of Gragas stealing it. Or if Gragas can get rid of Morgageddon, then they're at risk of team fighting against a Draven who already has a Bloodthirster built up at 13 minutes.
Yeah, Riot has finished the Bilgewater Cutlass, giving him that sustain in lane that he's needed, and now he's pushing the turret pretty hard. It might fall here in the next couple waves. Malphite's here to defend this wave, but as soon as Malphite's out of lane, he is going to grab that tower from him. Malphite really doesn't have the burst to kind of take down a Tryndamere 1v1, and Fiddlesticks, the ultimates have been lackluster. Haven't really seen a lot of involvement from him, other than just kind of pushing up the mid lane a little bit and, forcing Morgan back.
Now, one thing that Calderwise actually does have in the top lane is he has the ground slam. So if Riot just wants to go up and wail on the turret, then the attack speed is going to be drastically reduced.
Oh, and that's a blue steal from mid lane. Xerath actually picking that one up with the new long-range ultimate from downtown. And then we see an engagement down bottom. Mafik got hit by a hook. Do it for Lucky. Gonna flash over the wall. He will be safe right there. And playing with fire, because they definitely warded over that wall, does not land the death sentence. But a good little trade back and forth. But what a steal from the mid lane. He's actually been going for both buffs. He didn't grab the red buff with his last ult, but this ult, he grabbed the blue buff, and that's the one that he wants.
Yeah, and they actually combined the Whirling Death with Xerath's ulti there just to burst down that blue buff. I think it's actually a lot of why Riot Aphid got caught there. He was watching the other side, well, not the other side of the map. He was watching the blue buff and not really his own position, and he lost his own cleanse for it.
And here we have Helix in a great position to ult over this wall. Decided to go with the Seeker's Arm Guard first instead of going right for that large rod or the level 2 boots, which you typically see them go, but they actually see him right now. They know he's there.
They're ready to go.
Oh, and there is the ultimate coming across. Baconhawk's there, but Zephyr's there to counter ult. So it looks like they're going to fight this one out. Rarun is taking a lot of damage. Sorry, Rarun. And it's just going to be, flash for double ults, trading back and forth. He stepped out of the bush just a little bit, and this ward right here had his number. So they knew it was coming and had the counter gank ready.
Yeah, one thing we haven't really mentioned is the possibility of a lantern to move that Crow Storm. I'm waiting to see something like that. Just a great combination of ultimates, because it allows him to use the Fiddlesticks gank from an even further distance than he already has. But Riot is finally deciding to pick up the first dragon here, and Community isn't there to contest it. It will go to them. And it solidifies about a 1,500 gold lead here at 16 minutes.
Yeah, pushing them ahead a little bit further. Bot lane really showing their stuff now. I mean, that counter gank just opened them up. When they knew Sivir had to back up and either farm or retreat, it gave the easy dragon. Also, Gragas was sitting around half HP in the mid lane, so he wasn't able to contest that either.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The mid lane is kind of a weird situation here where Xerath is the one that's winning in farm, but Gragas is up in kills just because he can get rid of the low mobility mid laner. And actually the jungler, I believe, he's gotten rid of Zephril already once as well. And it's causing an odd power balance there. Of course, Guadalban already has the Athens and Holy Grail finished, as opposed to it only being components here for Morgageddon. And that's kind of odd, because it was Guadalban taking the brunt of the poke earlier.
Yep, now Sivir's going to actually get some free damage on that bottom tower, which is not going to hurt at all. Draven going to use the Whirling Death to clear out the wave, do a little bit extra damage onto Sivir. She's going to back in the bush. She should be safe. And meanwhile, we see just kind of little trades back and forth with a little bit of poke. And Skarner actually getting aggressive in the jungle right now. Zephril kind of running around, drops a ward at their red buff. The pings came down, though, and they knew that was going to happen. So it's going to leave Tryndamere open. He might be able to grab this turret if he wants to be really brazen. But it looks like he's going to hide in that brush, and Malphite's just going to clear the wave.
One thing I'm really surprised that Riot hasn't been doing yet is making more of a... they're taking just more advantage of the Draven, who's 2,000 gold over Sivir.
A flash body slam in the mid lane. Morgageddon taking a lot of damage. Ignite, and he just barrels him out of there. No ult coming down from Morgageddon. He tried to get it off, but was unable to do so. Guadalban still picking up kills in this mid lane. 4-0 now, just stuffing his bag with presence filled just Athene's whole unholy grail, and now he's got, what, 2,000 gold? So he's going to come back with level 2 boots and probably a blasting one. No, a large rod. He actually had just enough money for that.
Yes, he did. Also, that bottom turret is almost down on the community side. The Eye of the Storm spinning axe just taking... Well, the spinning axe isn't doing any extra damage, but Eye of the Storm from Janna is letting Riot Aphic do a lot of damage with the blood.
Oh, there's a hook though onto Janna, and Fiddle is here. That's a fear. Bacon Hawk trying to ult her way out of there, but it's not going to be enough. Skarner actually putting a little bit of a threat onto Thresh right there, but he's not the one that does damage. They gotta be careful for this Fiddle fear coming back up. Xerath, though, roaming down bottom. He might have an ult available. There is the fear onto Aphic. The cleanse is down. The impale coming out. And the damage coming down, raining from the skies from so far away. Whirling Death is not going to pick up the kill, but a flash from Aphic is going to be able to grab the kill. Helix tried to go up and help, but that's going to be a double kill for Draven. The turret. And Xerath actually picking up an assist. 2 assists, actually, off that one right there from that full engagement. And Gragas just did not roam down bottom quite fast enough. He's sitting on a ward and realizes it just now as the unleashed fury of Xerath was put into that brush. So they're probably going to get a blue steal off of this one because they have 3 people in the area. And Gragas might be able to grab it. He has explosive cask up, so he's got quite a bit of burst. So if they wait to try to give it to somebody else, they're not going to be able to get that down.
Yeah, it seems like community is actually starting to back off now. The respawn timer's there, and they don't want to deal with the Fiddlesticks who has a Crow Storm available now, unlike earlier during that gank. We're now starting to see Riot. Well, Riot has actually been winning skirmishes in the bot lane for a while now, but we're starting to see that just the power shift even more just because of that Draven, who's even further up now. He got 2 more kills with the League of Draven passive, and it puts him around over 3,000 gold lead over Sivir now. So that's just one very fed Draven at this point. He's actually alone about Riot's entire gold lead. He has 3,000 over Sivir, and the entire gold lead is just shy of 4,000 between the 2 teams.
Yeah, pretty much that and a dragon is all the differences right there. Calderweiss now trading a little bit with Bach. They pretty much have gone even in trades quite a bit right there. Morgageddon getting a little close. They might want to get a kill. The Dark Passage down to save him if he needs it. And they're really just trying to get Riot Bach to commit up in this top lane right here. Fiddlesticks is there, but they're basically just running into each other's wave and clearing it. You know, Calderweiss actually has a good amount of attack damage. It's 120 attack damage. There's a Thresh hook.
Oh, that was
not going to be any death from that sentence. And here comes Zephyro, though. Calderweiss going to take a lot of damage. He's going to get the Unstoppable Force walk out of there. Impale is down. Xerath trying to get the kill from downtown. Not able to get a great death sentence. Zephyro getting hooked back. The Drain is down. He's barely alive, going to make it out of there. Now Dominus Helix in a lot of trouble. He ignites down, forced to flash out of there, and that's Xerath picking up a kill as Thresh actually hooks in, flays him back. Guadabalin just a little bit too late, but they have Janna to come up and help, and they might push this turret in a 2v1, but Guadabalin with a blue buff, easily going to be able to clear these waves if needed. Does have the Explosive Cask available, and I don't think that they're going to push really hard into this one. Actually, Trendemir allowed to get in there all by himself, so they're going to grab another tower, 2-0 towers right now.
Yeah, this community is, again, they're losing the skirmish battle. They're not fighting full 5-on-5 fights, and it's a thing that's hard to force at 20 minutes into a game unless you just barrel all down mid lane or you try to sneak a Baron or something. But it's kind of what community needs to get back this lead that they're starting to lose. Like, get Gragas into a fight. Get him to do a lot of damage because he's the one that's just really ahead in his lane right now.
Calderweiss jumping right onto Afik down here in this bottom lane, doing lots of damage. Afik realizing that he can't take this Frozen Heart Malphite. There's the slow. The cleanse is down. He's actually going to miss the ground slam. Afik might be able to kite out of this one. Stand Aside is down. Calderweiss turns around, though, and picks up the kill, grabbing a red buff and 500 gold, shutting down that Draven.
Oh, see if we can snipe Helix.
Oh, it is going to be a snipe. I was actually watching Xerath, not Helix, when I went to the mid lane, but Helix got killed under his tier 2 tower. That might be another tower for Riot here, and they're going to go 3-0 in towers. That's a lot of objective control.
The Dragon is also up, and it's something that Zephyro really wants to get for his team right now. You can already see him rushing down there. Even with Draven dead, he can probably with the Sheen and the...
Oh, the death sentence over the wall. Morgan's
gets
going to get caught in the mid lane, but a flay not landing right there. One of those awkward flays where it looks like it came across, but it just wasn't enough. Do it for Lucky, landing another one into Morgan. This flay is going to land. Water Balling going to ult him back. Flash, there's the barrel, but he's stunned. He can't pop it. And that's going to be Malphite grabbing a bottom turret as they just go back and forth. Sivir coming in, guns ablaze, and speed is up. Affik caught in a really bad spot. And that is Affik going down first. Sivir grabbing that one. And Rarun finally getting some kills. And Morgan running down bottom. But Malphite taking the passage and picking up one of those kills. A good exchange right here. And now Janna being a little brazen. You know, she forecasted maybe an ice shower, some sleet down from that Malphite right there. As look how aggressive Do It For Lucky is with these thresh hooks.
After a fight like that, community really needs to commit to either a dragon or a mid turret just to get back some of this advantage they lost. Calderwise is absolutely not going to catch that Tryndamere, but we see Rarun actually pushing that advantage in bot lane with the Draven gone, and that's actually a lot of why community would win these team fights. Draven is absolutely no mobility on that side, and he's really just relying on Bacon Hawk to keep him alive, and if Bacon Hawk isn't there to do that, then that Draven is going to be dead. Most of Riot's advantage gold-wise is going to be dead, and it's something that community can really exploit very easily against Riot's side, and we saw it just there. Affik got obliterated right at the beginning of the fight, and the team fight just went to community hands down.
They need to be careful in this mid lane. Fiddle is one of those champions that you can easily snipe if he's not ready for it, so needs to be careful. Does have the zonies now, so will be able to negate, you know, a huge nuke of damage, but if you get caught out early, as we saw in the LCS, you know, if you're not ulting in to the advantage in fights or baiting them in. Calderweiss though, gonna get caught right up front, taking big damage. Xerath using the ult for that, picking up the kill. And now it's gonna be a 4v3 in the mid lane. Sivir's coming, and Tryndamere's there. He's just farming red buff. He's like, oh, you guys got the turret, you got the pick. Now a 4K gold league for Riot here, but still commanding the turrets. Tryndamere went right back up top and started chopping away at their tier 2.
And Rarn is trying to contest that. I'm not sure. Oh, never mind. Baka is actually kind of low, and he just walks right on out of there. But one thing that community cannot do, they can't overextend past their turrets when all 5 of Riot is trying to push down one turret. They have to rely on Guadabalin's wave clear as well as the wave clear from Rarun. As long as at least one of them is there, they can just stave off a push single-handedly, and that's what they need to do every time Riot tries to push in like that. They can't stay past their turrets. Even the tankiest member on the team just cannot be overextended like that. And without someone like Malphite, whose ultimate almost makes or breaks a team fight, you can't afford to lose that.
Yeah, they really were kind of caught off guard. I mean, Malphite was up there, and that's who you want them to try and burst down, but they just weren't ready to fight that. I don't think they're ready for the amount of burst that he would take because he didn't have any MR yet. He wasn't stacking that Negatron cloak, which he went back and picked up. He just has a lot of armor, so much armor. It's actually boosting the amount of damage he can do as well. I mean, 242 armor right now is just a crazy amount at 27 minutes.
For what it's worth, he doesn't have a lot of health either. The only health he has is really in that Doran Shield and Sunfire cape. But normally by this point you'd at least expect... Oh,
they're going to catch Fiddlesticks. The Impale is down. Helix is going to get nuked and instantly gibbed in the middle of the Impale. Not even a chance to Zhonya's. And that's going to be the advantage. They might push in and try to grab one. Calderweiss getting hit with a stun and ulted once again. Not going to live through that one. Even tried to use Unstoppable Force to get out of there. Sivir using On the Hunt to get Gragas back safe. And now it's going to be a 5v3 in this mid lane. Thresh has to take the long way around. And they're going to get some good damage out of this tower. They do have the wave clear from Gragas, but they don't have the threat of the explosive cask right now.
Yeah, and Do It For Lucky there was actually just trying to make his way back to the turret. And without him there, it was actually a really powerful threat for a turret dive, and we're actually still at risk for that with Fiddlesticks and Malphite dead, but Device Helix has respawned, and Calderwise will be right behind him momentarily, and that just stops the push in mid lane from Riot. They do get a second turret again out of one of community getting caught. Riot Bach will take the top turret in just a second here if he doesn't take lethal damage first.
Yeah, he was getting chunked a little bit. He does have the Undying Rage up, but not going to need to use it. He's going to back off and let this huge wave just kind of push in. Silver's going to grab that, and we'll probably hit a little bit of a lull. Oh my gosh, another death sentence way downtown, and they're going to force a flash out of Morgageddon, and Janna taking a lot of damage from the explosive cask as well. This might be a little bit of an advantage. They could push in on this one right now. They have a lot of healthy members. They have the Unstoppable Force very soon, on the hunt very soon, and they also have the birthday party from Fiddlesticks to come down. Do It for Lucky almost landing a completely blind hook right there. That was really, really, really close.
Absolutely, the hook shots have been just on point all this game. I've never even seen one from that angle before when they caught Morgageddon just now. Actually, Demise Helix is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they tried to nuke him down, and that's the Lantern, and that's Calderwise actually going to turn back in. He only gets one with the Unstoppable Force. Zephyr's going to get hooked. The damage coming down. Box is down. Bach is taking a lot of damage. Forced to ult. Do It for Lucky's going to get ignited. He will go down. The first kill from Draven being picked up. Calderwise in a lot of trouble. Draven picking up a double kill. They're going to slow him down, but that's a triple kill for Draven and an ace for the, an extended ace. Oh no, actually, Fiddlesticks did get out alive. Fiddlesticks made it out all the way alive, so it was a 4 for 0 exchange as they chased him down.
Demise Helix actually got the chance to recall just barely there off to the side. He did get back at least in time to stop a push, but even then, Riot doesn't have minions to get this inhibitor, and the death timers might not even be long enough to let them take the inhibitor. They're probably just going to get the turret out of this. And
that balloon animal almost taking down Janna right there. They're going to clear out this wave very quickly. We do have respawns coming out. Do It for Lucky's back up. 2 seconds on Sivir, 5 on Malphite. They're going to be able to defend this one pretty easily. And that might have been a time when they wanted to either switch to bottom tower, because that's the last tier 2 turret up, or they could have gone for the Baron. And we're actually seeing a ping from Community out on the Baron, just maybe for a vision ping right there. Riot Bach waiting and a good Dark Passage, just picking up some vision right there. Going to sweep the area, and they actually have ward control on Baron right now because everything's run out in that area for Riot side.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm just thinking that Riot should, by this point, they've already established they can win the fights. They're 9,000 gold ahead now. Again, the vast majority of that lead is on Draven. You look at the gold lead, Draven and Skarner. But it's fairly even, less than 1,000 gold difference in every other role. It's those two specifically that they're relying on to make these fights. And Guadabalin, he was the advantage in mid lane for Community, but now he's about 700 gold behind, 400 gold with the Dragon behind Morgageddon Skarner. And their Community is losing the advantages they had, especially with the red buff there going over to Aphic.
Yeah, they have a chance to get a catch right here, but it looks like a good stun's going to come down. Aphic's going to take some poke damage. Same thing with Guadabalin. There's no hook to land. They really need a good Unstoppable Force into a Fiddle ultimate to make a fight win. We haven't had a good Fiddle ultimate Zhonya's yet. The last time he worked his way around, but it was a warded brush, and really the damage coming out of Xerath was just laying it down, just raining it onto Fiddlesticks, and almost killed Helix, but Helix was able to get the Zhonya's and the Dark Passage to get him out alive.
Yeah, and remember, this is the new reworked Xerath. It's not just the Locus of Power, or whatever I think that's what it was called. It's not Locus of Power into Arcano Pulse. It was like getting every other Arcano Pulse, the very maximum range. You can get it on every single Q from Xerath now. And that long range from it is just whittling Community down.
Oh, there's Xerath raining down the ultimate. A box is down. They're trying to disengage this one. Everybody getting out alive so far. Box going to be slowed by the box as well, and that's going to be a disengage. But Fiddlesticks ulting over the wall. A great ultimate from Baconhawk, knocking him back. And that's going to be a kill over the wall from Morgageddon, sniping people out, showing how strong that rework is. And now they have the advantage over the tower. It was a good ult from Fiddlesticks, but just perfect reaction time from Baconhawk with that Monsoon to save her AD carry. And we still had the cleanse up. So there would have been a cleanse just in case. And they really need to get that off of Aphic first. And Rarun might be in trouble right here. No Impale coming down quite yet. Zephyr just kind of fearing everybody away with it. Morgan getting a lot of damage down. Calderweiss is going to fall. A flash ignite from Morgan, but he's going to trade his life for that. Guadabalin picking up the shutdown gold, and now having to bump his way out of there and take his presence elsewhere as Afik and the rest of Riot are going to take down the first inhibitor of the game at 33-37.
Yeah, the team fight abilities that Community was just relying on there weren't in place. The Fiddlesticks ult was predicted by an over-the-wall ward. Do It For Lucky is trying to...
Ooh, there's a death sentence. Do It For Lucky is going to get it onto Riot Bach. Big damage coming down. Helix getting ignited, taking a good amount of damage, but a great stun. Another one right there. Will the Unyielding Rage get him out of there? A flash from the hook, and it's not going to land as Draven picks up the rotation right there. And Helix now going to get a fear onto Afik, but Afik has that cleanse up, has Janna to help out, and it's just not going to be enough. Helix is going to fall, but Rarun is there. Big crit taking down Draven. This is going to be... it's not going to be a double kill. I was like, it's going to be a double kill, but Bacon Hawk has the flash and the Tornadors to stop them from following.
Yeah, the 280 carries in this, both teams have gone for an item combination you don't really see that often. Is a relatively early Infinity Edge. Calderweiss is also getting caught in bot lane, by the way.
Yeah, Calderweiss not able to straight up run away. Bach has the move speed advantage, might be able to get a slow. Zephyral is there. There it is, and Calderweiss is going to go down using the Unstoppable Force. That might set them up for an easy Baron right now.
It would if Afik wasn't dead. He's still the large amount of their damage. Tryndamere, of course, is especially with the Blade of the Ruined King, can obviously melt Baron.
Oh yeah, we got the Trenda Blenda. I mean, it's the Trenda Blenda. He's just gonna sit there. He's gonna chop, chop, chop. You know, he's like the slap chop of League of Legends champions, and he's gonna just take it down. You know, and the reason he's a Trenda Blenda is because you see him his whirling slash there. It's clearly that he's meant to be a blender.
Obviously.
Spinning slash, not whirling slash. Spinning.
I think it's AP Tryndamere that's Trenda Blenda, because he's the one that spins all the time. And here comes Fiddlesticks.
Oh, Finn's going to ult in there. Good fear, but the smite reigns true. And that's going to be Demonized Helix popping the Zonias, but it's still going to be a 4v3 right here. Can they chase on this one? They want to get the damage. Sivir getting a little too close, forced to flash out of there, taking a lot of damage. And Rauron trying to turn it around. Bach with the ult, keeping him alive. Can he dodge this last barrel coming out of Guadabalin? No! That's going to be a pickup as Draven runs across the mid lane, trying to get himself out of there, using the axes as what are those things that help you float across the swamp? Man, I cannot think of the name of them right now. I had it on the tip of my tongue and just lost it.
They're like giant,
like the little, like the hover boats. Yeah, the fan boats. Yeah, that's what Draven's using it to get a little extra speed. You know,
looks
the fans
like Guadabalin's going on a little adventure down in bot lane. I thought he was trying to chase someone. No, he's trying to push in that turret. We have that was actually mostly good for Riot, I believe. They did get the Baron buff out of it. They got even more solidified 10,000 gold lead now, but even with the Baron, that was actually one of the first relatively good Fiddlesticks ultimates. It didn't catch a lot of people. They actually swapped places with Tryndamere over the wall as that spinning slash was used. But, it got him in the Baron pit, it got him in the fight. He was actually taken kind of low early by Morgageddon's ultimate, who is now being used to secure blue buff for himself. What is the cooldown on that thing, by the way? It's 65
it's like,
seconds.
Yeah,
it's a minute.
It's just over a minute, so it's like it's very close to August Barrel, and Calderweiss might get caught out here again, but the barrel is going to turn people around. Afik, though, there is the Whirling Death, and ultimate used, but no kill picked up. It might give them a little bit of pressure to push this back in. The inhibitor is respawning very soon, so they might try to use this push to grab that inhibitor all grouped up. But we have Janna split pushing bottom lane.
Yep, that's what Janna does. That's a full belt not Tryndamere. Draven, by the way. I didn't even notice until just now. He already has 5 items and boots, and that's the League of Draven passive right there.
Calderweiss actually going to ult on Morgageddon, but turn around. The damage actually came down really big. Morgageddon forced to get out of there. There's an ult over the wall from Helix, fearing Zephyral, taking lots of damage. Fiddle picking up that kill. Riot Bach in the middle of everything. Annealing Rage up there. The Zonia is not going to help. The snipe from the back line. Xerath picking that one up. Afik now going through and just taking everybody out axes on axes as Xerath just sat on the other side of the wall and just rained in all of the damage. I mean, multiple Arcano pulses just coming over that wall. He got the great snipe onto Gragas as he came out of the Zonias, and that might be game. We got 20-second death timer on Thresh, and he's not going to be able to stop Riot Aephic with a red buff and a Baron buff, so they might push this in and win it right now.
Yeah, if it's not the game, it's at least 2 inhibitors by this point, even the Nexus turret or 2. And community also, the death timers are not all that close together. I see at least a 15-second difference between the longest and the shortest, and if they try to stop this push, they won't. Yeah, they're not going to get the chance. It's game.
Yeah, that is going to be a game right there. A good showing from community. That's almost a 40-minute game. The last death sentence is going to land. Do it for Lucky, landing them all game. But it's going to be Riot taking game 1 once again. And it looked really good for community most of the way through that game. You know, I mean, they were pretty much trading lanes. You know, they had a strong mid lane versus the weaker bot lane, and it just didn't all come together for the team fights for them. They had a couple catches on the Fiddlesticks, and if Fiddle gets caught out, he just takes a beating.
Okay, so